The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. And if you happen to miss an episode, you can catch me on Spotify or Apple, or go to my website, themainstreetcode.com, and you can see all my past episodes on my YouTube channel. So lots of ways, in case you missed something or you want to review something, we're here for you. When we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. We help hundreds of advisors across the United States, including accountants and attorneys, with and people like you with their insurance plans. And also we help a lot of corporations with different types of insurance planning. We specialize in the areas of life insurance, long-term care, annuities, and disability insurance. And we're completely independent. We represent over 30 different insurance companies. We have no favoritism towards company, and that's very important when you're making your selection or devising a plan for you. You want to have all the opportunity to do all the different types of plans that are out there for you. And, you know, company to company can be different in products and also in their underwriting. If you have some sort of health issue or medical impairment, some companies will look at you more favorable than other companies. So that could directly reflect in your cost of program. At this time, we are at the beginning of open enrollment season for Medicare. I am not a Medicare expert, but I know enough to talk to you about some of the things that are going on out there. So from October 15th to December 7th, you're probably, if you're 65 or older, getting letters in the mail from this company and that company and this company, and what do I do and how do I do it? And I encourage you to reach out to a Medicare broker. If you don't have one, give me a call. I have several that work with me. And there's really this open enrollment season, October 15th to December 7th, which allows you to switch your plan, particularly if you're on an Advantage plan. So you're going to be inundated with this stuff, so you should know about it and you should act on it. If you've just turned 65 or you're about to turn 65, you do need to file for Medicare Part A and Part B. And all this comes into play, why it's important. I'm talking about it today because there's a lot of decisions to make. You have to have Part B, otherwise you're going to be penalized. And Part A, you have to file that. Otherwise, it could be very costly down the road. If something happens to you and you get sick, you could be liable for doctor's bills that, who knows, you can afford them. You know, a day in the hospital could cost you $25,000, $100,000. So really make sure that you do that. Now, there's two types of plans out there. There's Medicare Advantage plans and there's supplements. This is in addition to Part A and Part B. You have to know that this is in addition to, because this covers a wide amount of things that your basic Medicare A and B don't cover. Now, a lot of the Advantage plans are very inexpensive or don't cost you anything, but they do have co-payments, and they are usually limited to a specific carrier So you want to make sure if you're buying an Advantage plan or you're enrolling in an Advantage plan that that carrier has all of your doctors. It's very important. And you want to make sure that your network expands, outside of the state, which is a very big issue with these Advantage plans. They're okay for some people. Everything's okay for some people. I'm a big fan of more of the supplement plan, although, they cost a lot more money every month. So you have to weigh your options out, and you really want to, when you're working with a Medicare professional, they really have to know and be licensed with supplement plans and Advantage plans. Now, one of the unique things about Medicare professionals, Medicare brokers who know this stuff, is they have to get licensed with every separate company they represent. So you want to make sure the person that you are talking to just doesn't represent one company, because you need to know all of your options. Just like working with me on the life side, I need to know every option, because it's going to save me tons of money, tons of my retirement, if I do it correctly. So very important you speak to a Medicare broker. There's a lot of little things there. The other big change in Medicare that's coming January 1, and you should be knowing about it, and you need to budget for it, is the drug cards have changed dramatically. So what happened is the drug program, which is separate, so you got A, you've got B, then you have your supplement or Advantage plan. Some people call it a Plan C, but it isn't. And the Medicare supplements have all kinds of different letters, F, this, that. You really got to know what you're doing here. But then there's what they call Medicare Part D. That's your prescription drug card. Now, the nice thing is, starting 2025, the out-of-pocket limit, no matter what drugs you're taking, is going to be $2,000 a year. That's humongous. But whatever arrangements they made with the drug company, I know the drug plan I'm on was $3 a month for all my prescription drugs, plus a little copay here and there, but that was the cost of the insurance, has gone from $3 to like $35 or $36 a month. Dramatic change. And I think that's one of the least expensive ones out there. I'm in the process myself of shopping, but I still believe that particular plan is the least expensive drug card out there. So I have to budget for 35 times 2, $70 times 12. Okay, an additional maybe $1,000 a year that I'm going to have to spend for a drug card. I got it so inexpensively last year. I paid annually. I just said, here's $36. Thank you. Have a good day. And I did that for my spouse, and I did that for my employee. So that's going up. Now, there's another plan that many people don't talk about that I do represent, because I work with a lot of corporations. It's considered a group supplement plan, and it's far less expensive than AARP. When I priced it out last year, I was about 20% cheaper than the top ranked AARP plan. And all you have to do is have two people that have worked for a company. It could be any company. It could be a union. It could be, a steel worker. You could be a plumber, whatever it is. And you get this humongous discount. And all your company has to do is endorse it. They don't have to pay for it. If you have a really great company, they're going to pay for it, or maybe pay part of it. But even if they're paying for it, you may want to look into these plans. I happen to represent them. If you want to give me a call at 631-647-4694. I'm bringing this up because there's a lot of other considerations out there while you're making your Medicare thing. If you're at or near retirement, one of the biggest decisions you're going to make is you may get a statement for a pension. If you have a pension, that's fantastic. The pension is going to give you several different options. The automatic option is they'll give you an income option for you and your spouse. They'll give you X dollar amount. They'll give you Y dollar amount if it's just for you solo. And, they'll give you other different options, maybe 50% for your spouse. The automatic option, if you're married, is you and your spouse. The highest paying option to you is directly to you, not with your spouse. Now, that pension, by the way, is an annuity. By the way, Social Security is an annuity. It's an annuity payment. It's a payment you can't outlive. So you want to make sure that you make the right choices. Now, with interest rates being higher than they were in years past, many times my retail annuity will pay a higher payout than your pension annuity. So you want to look and see if that can be rolled over. And I can look at that for you. And I have a lot of different things we could talk about at that decision time. And I think it's very important that you know about it and that you review it with me so we can go over it and say, what are my best options if I have a pension coming? Because that's a big decision time that could affect your income and your well-being for the rest of your life. It's very important. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I could be reached at 631-647-4694, and we'll be right back after this break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. If you missed me before the break, we were talking about Medicare because it's open enrollment season, so you have a lot of decisions to make. Now, what I have to tell you is, and my advice is, you want to work with a broker who has both Advantage and supplement plans and who's licensed with all the different companies so you can have a fair, balanced, and great selection and know what they're talking about. That Medicare expert is not allowed to talk to you about any other financial product at that time. That's part of the deal. And they have to be licensed with every separate company. But there's a lot of things that they're missing when they talk to you. One of the things on the Medicare application that's missing is it specifically tells you this does not cover you if you need long-term care. What is long-term care insurance? Or long-term care is custodial care in your home. Medicare does not cover any type of care you need inside your home at all. If you need help bathing, drinking, or whatever, Medicare is not. Medicaid does cover some limited thing, and I think that's an important distinction. So if you're just getting on Medicare and you don't have any kind of long-term care protection, you need to look at that. Now, a lot of lawyers, and I had some not horrible, but I've had some confrontations with some attorneys this week who want to put everybody, so that they'll get Medicaid and impoverish everybody legally so they can get the benefits of Medicaid, which you can only get with an elder planning attorney who does legal documents, who makes sure that you run out of money or you replace your money so that you can get some long-term care services. Medicaid is the default that maybe will give you some services at home and maybe some services in a nursing home if they deem qualified. I was reading in the paper this morning about a number of issues regarding that. Apria Health Center in Nassau County, big building, it's in Newsday today, is closing because most of their funds come from Medicaid, and they're not getting enough funds to pay help. So that you get low quality help, making, now they've boosted the wage up to $15 or $18 an hour, taking care of you when you need it. I mean, I don't want some person who maybe, they don't have to be qualified to be, I guess there's some qualification for home health aid, but, they're not getting paid a lot from these facilities because they're not getting the money from Medicaid. It's a terrible circle when you have to rely on Medicaid to pay for all your expenses. That's the bottom line. Okay? Yes, you can comply, and for some people that's the only option. The other option is to really have some sort of long-term care plan in addition to any kind of elder planning, or in lieu of any kind of elder planning, especially if you have assets that you need to protect. You need to get some sort of long-term care insurance. And we talk about this every week, about how important it is to protect yourself in this eventuality, which is going to happen. 70% of us are going to need some sort of help in the home. as we get older, our strength is not there. Sometimes our mind is not there, and we're going to need these services. So long-term care insurance or life insurance with long-term care is a very viable option and must be considered. And in your planning, that's something after the Medicare or during the Medicare process or prior to is another consideration you have to have. Before the break, we also talked about if you're getting a pension. There's another consideration that you have to have. And these are the areas where I specialize in both the long-term care planning and in your pension planning. It's very important if you're getting a pension and you have all these different things that they're going to give you. They're going to give you the sheet of paper. Well, if I take a lifetime, if I take a lump sum, I do that. If I do this. Now, if you do a lump sum, you have to keep it inside an annuity or an IRA plan, or it's all going to be taxed. So you don't want to take the lump sum, but we can devise a plan that will give you an income possibly greater than the options they're going to give you, and we can also schedule it to maybe delay the income. And why would we want to delay our pension income? It's very simple. This all comes back to Medicare, Part A, Part B, and everything else. And this is the clincher that people don't consider. If you take a large lump sum of money and you're taking it as taxable money, your Medicare Part B premium goes up dramatically. It's a thing called IRMA. And your Medicare people aren't going to talk to you about this. Many of them don't even realize it. But IRMA is determined about your income, about how much you pay the government for Medicare Part B. So even if you're taking Social Security, they will take that money out of Social Security, or you'll have to pay it. So it could be anywhere from, I don't know the exact number, $180 a month, all the way up to $600 a month for just your Part B premium before you even buy a supplement. So IRMA is very important. Your pension is very important. And let's talk about your pension just a little more. If you want the best number to get on any pension, even if you have to take that pension payout and you can't buy your own annuity and structure your own structure, not the company structure, okay? If you can't do that, you want to look at these different options, because if you take the life-only option, that's going to be the highest amount just on your life. And if you're concerned about your spouse, take a little bit of money off and buy some life insurance to protect her. Or him. I have to say her or him. Absolutely. So because that pension, we call this pension maximizing your pension. You want to maximize your income, but also if your spouse really needs it behind, you want to get some kind of protection, life protection, so that they can have that pension fully. It's actually cheaper in many cases, if you buy that life protection. And there's a lot of reasons why. If one spouse is unhealthy or the other spouse is healthy, you may not want to have that joint option. You may want to have just the individual option. If one is the one retiring is retiring because they're disabled or they know that they're sick and everything else, that joint option is maybe the best option. Okay, so it's an individual decision, and one that's a lifelong decision, and one shouldn't be taken lightly. So if you have a pension upcoming, let us review it with you, and let's look at the options. What are the best options, and what is going to protect you in the future? So you have a lot of decisions to make as you near retirement. A, I have my fear of living too long, so I want to make sure I have that income stream that's going to last. B, I need to protect it. And C, I may want to be thinking about my legacy. We take care of all these issues, but it's intricate. There's a lot going on. So one specialist may handle the Medicare. You need a financial specialist like myself that can handle those areas of insurance that you need so that you won't outlive your income. And one final note before I leave the air today, For anybody that has a small business, there's something called a Corporate Transparency Act. You have 9 weeks left to file with this Corporate Transparency Act. If you need help with that or you haven't filed, you could be fined up to $500 a day until you file. This was a law they put in. A lot of people don't know about it. My accountant just sent me an email. I happen to know about it. I have an LLC and a corp. I did it for my LLC earlier this year, and I said, holy cow, I didn't do it for my corp yet. So I rushed to do that. Anybody has a small company and doesn't know about this, please call me at 631-647-4694. You've been listening to Neil Himmelstein. There's a lot of information out there. Life is confusing. Let us take the time and figure out what your needs are, whether you're a person or a company, and we can help you and help you devise a plan and also put the right pieces together that you may need, whether they be legal or financial. Again, my number is 631-647-4694. Have a great week.